Just 1 month before we launched, the government doubled taxes for electric cars and removed subsidies. And it made us really rethink our entire business. And made us rethink also how important it was to balance which areas you look and what businesses you look, to have an area that would be stable as a model, and made us think actually to go overseas. So in many ways, some of these early challenges, and as I look back, each of them became an opportunity. I don't think we'd have been in Europe and become more global unless the government hadn't put this policy, because when this policy came and we had to figure out how to make money and survive, and we found that overseas we had higher margins, and we started to go to overseas, and 50% of our sales then started to go to overseas markets. So in hindsight, I think these have been great experiences as we've looked at it. A key driver for us has been innovation, and I think that the panel, the team group here has a lot looking at semiconductors and everything else. So I wanted to take one part of our business and kind of focus more on the innovation side as we take this through in the rest of my topic. Oops, sorry. Right. So in the early years, to be honest with you, innovation was very, very unstructured in the organization. You got an idea, you put it in, but slowly we started to feel that innovation needed to be really driven very differently. And what we did is we actually created an IP committee that actually reports to the board. And once a quarter, we actually meet up to lay out and chalk out the programs on what we're going to do in IP, what are the technologies we're going to focus, and what is going to be the strategic direction as we take this forward. A very high emphasis on data, and I'll come to this a little bit later as we looked at it, and using customers in different geographies and conditions to pull us. I felt having India always made us very value conscious, and I felt that looking at European customers made us drive towards technology, and over time those technology innovations we could get at a very good price point. And having two very unique customer pulls and merging that was, I think, very successful in allowing us to have a probably 30% lower cost with equivalent technologies available in global marketplaces. Working with other companies in India and gathering this partnership was very important to put one and one together, because I think in a new technology space you don't own everything, and so therefore partnerships are going to be very critical to look at successfuls. And I'll maybe use a few examples as we go through this on this area. So one of the things I was mentioning to you was insights were very critical for us to drive innovation. So very early on, and those days are the Palm days, I'm talking 10, 12 years ago, all our cars were equipped to upload data. We stored data for 3 years on board, and so whenever we went to a service center, we understood not only what the customer told you, but how the car ran. How the car ran in -20 in Norway or 45 in Rajasthan, how batteries behave, how things were there, and this really enabled us to gather a tremendous amount of insight on how to optimize vehicles and platforms. Energy efficiency was extremely important as we looked at it. Lightweight steel structures, thermoplastics, a lot of focus on what we call our intelligent energy management system. It's basically an onboard computer that monitors around 150 things on the car and manages the entire battery system. A lot of emphasis on integrating high performance regenerative braking. Today in some cities like in Bangalore, we get up to 20% overall on average, except 15% back in recuperation. And it was very important to optimize that. We also use areas like thermoelectrics in seats to heat and cool seats directly using 1/10 the power. And so therefore, again, energy efficiency right through helps us to optimize a solution on this area. Innovation as an external pull we found, as an internal pull we found is very important. EVs have very limited range as you think about it. And so for the test team to really test cars, they needed to really look at how do we fast charge them. So they created a system where in 15 minutes we get 40 kilometers. We're able to do 500 kilometers a day, which is very important. And today, as I look at it, marketing sees as an important feature, and our future cars will actually have an option to be quick charged and go through this. But creating these internal constraints sometimes actually results in certain innovations which have been quite unique for us. At a product level, our next products are the NXR, which would go up to 160 kilometers. It has dual charge ports and a unique solar panel on top that can also charge the battery. So it takes a lot of these technologies, and our goal on this next generation product was to really differentiate it not only from styling but the key technologies that we had in there. That's a product. This will be out later this year. And the NXG was the second generation with a higher top speed and range, and this would be out also in a couple of years. Another innovative area was on telematics, and one of the key areas that we looked at was to really see how we could differentiate ourselves in talking to the customer. So actually all our new cars have telematics built in place. You can just send an SMS or log onto a smartphone and get information on pre-cooling, preheating your car, or a monthly checkup. We drove this further on a market-driven solution called Revive, where we found that customers really had a concern looking at the fact that what if I ever run low on charge, and what would I do? And so it was a mindset issue, and the way we overcame a lot of this was actually a marketing team came and said, what you really need to solve, not the fact that you have a gauge and can tell you exactly what's there, but how do you overcome the mindset issue of range anxiety? So we said, okay, let's send an SMS to the car. The car remotely accesses this information. We know what's happening on the battery system remotely, and we can energize and activate an amount of energy and get you back or home. That was very important for a customer whose wife was driving the car with a 3-year-old kid, and they know their mobile phone had switched off, and they never want to happen that to their car. So I think this is an area where marketing and innovation was very critical. I'm going to skip through this couple of slides as we're running late on time. Another key area was collaborative research that we looked at, and I think it's so important for organizations to come together in their expertises. Around 5 years ago, we worked with DC Design and Encore to create a next generation product. We did this in under 4 months with 3 companies, doing the latest on telematics, on display systems and design. And I think the capabilities that are housed in India today are tremendous. And using these expertise can really look at collaborative innovation in a very unique manner. All of this for us at a technology level was creating a modularity. We never saw a car as a car. We actually probably saw cars more as computers that looked at the fact that you could put in different intelligent display systems, HVAC, everything was controlled by a patented system. Do you want battery technology A or B, lithium ion or lead acid? Do you want multiple drivetrain technologies at different speeds? Put the right software and take it through. By doing this kind of open architecture philosophy, created a business for us of trying to look at licensing our technologies, because we didn't think it was product related. And so I think that was a very important aspect in how we looked at technologies. We also felt that external pull for an R&D team was very important as we looked at on this area. And one of the things we did was a climate change road trip across the country, and we had a bunch of students who came and said, we want to do across the country and talk about climate change and look at this in a clean way. And the R&D took up this challenge to look at how we could do this, and this is our first experience with high-performance lithium-ion battery, telematics, solar panels crossing the country, which 2 years later is going to be in all our products. And so I think always having innovation driven externally also has been very helpful in our case. On the distribution front, we've done something also very different. We didn't have the kind of funds, so we created an online model. Today online is very common, but in 2004, we did everything in UK online. PR took you to a website, you bought a car. We didn't advertise once, and over 1,000 cars were sold online, and all our service was done 80% on mobile basis. And so I think when you don't have an infrastructure, it I think allows us to innovate quite differently. At a process level, we looked at very unique ways of lowering the amount of energy. That's our new plant that's coming up in the next 3 months. It'll be powered by solar, over 100 kilowatts. And every car getting its first charge would come from solar charge. And it looks at a tremendous amount of recyclability. All the panels are pre-impregnated with colors. So as you look at the innovation, and here we felt that green drove us to actually innovate in many areas, which actually today is going to help us lower costs on this front. So as just some concluding thoughts on this area, for me, as I learned through this, I think this never have done it before. With people see as a concern, I actually think it's really an opportunity. I've used that as an advantage. For us in our organization, driving why can't we do it better has been, why can't we do it differently, has been a very big important questioning process that's helped us to innovate. And I think looking at these challenges at every point that we've seen has really helped us create innovation and seed this as more of an opportunity and helped us grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chetan. Steve?